Hello again and welcome to the Culinary Kitchen. My name is Chef Jason Champagne. I'm chef owner of Native Chef LLC. I first want to thank the Muskogee Nation of Oklahoma for this opportunity to share my knowledge with others. And I thank you for watching this video. Today we're going to be doing a really fun and easy balsamic, honey, and garlic sauce pork chops with asparagus mushroom saute. And really fun. You got to have fun in the kitchen. I have fun every day, and I'm just really looking forward to sharing this amazing recipe with you. And a lot of the hard work is done. I've already got everything. I went to the store this morning, picked everything up, and I'm ready to go. So let's start prepping and cooking this meal. So what I talked about in an earlier video was how beneficial it is to buy in bulk. And what I did here is I could have bought these already cut up. I would have got maybe 4 of these for about a little under $12, but you save about $2 a pound if you actually cut these yourself. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut what I need for this recipe, and then I'm going to go ahead and freeze whatever I'm not going to use for a future meal. So basically the price that I paid, I would have only got about 1/3 of what I got with what I paid for this. So again, it's just so beneficial to have those knife skills. Okay, so I want to cut these into about 4-ounce portions. Okay, so 4 ounce will be about a little over 1/2 inch thick. Okay, I'm going to leave the fat on these and then I'll trim them later. But for now, I just want to get these sliced. And again, I'm just going to slice them all, but then keep some. I'm going to go ahead and freeze some, so I'm going to get 2 or 3 meals out of this loin. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the recipe in half, or whatever you see the recipe given to you. I've cut these into a little over 1/2 inch thick, and it's just easier to trim them now. So I'm just going to trim a little bit of the fat off of the edges. A lot of people try to trim the loin fat from it, but it's just much easier to do it now. I want to leave a little bit and trim most of it off. And then last, what I want to do is I just want to smash these out a little bit with my palm, and they get to be closer to a little over 1/4 of an inch thick. Okay, so these are sprig leaves, so very quickly I'm just going to pull them right off the stem. I just want the leaves, and we're gonna flavor the pork with these. So get rid of the stems and just pull down. Takes a little bit of time. It's the way we learned in culinary school, the difference between rosemary and thyme. Thyme takes time to clean, but it adds amazing flavor. And then once we have the thyme cleaned, we want to just rough chop it. We want a heaping teaspoon per 2 pork chops. So if you're doing the full recipe, you would want about 2 good sized teaspoons. And now we just simply want to season the pork chops with salt and pepper. So I'm going to make a little bit of a salt and pepper mix here. Put some on both sides really good. I'm going to season with some fresh thyme. The key is to really push the thyme into the meat so that it stays on there. Meaning that you want to spread it out, then you really want to push it into the meat. And this will be the presentation side. I'll season the other side with salt and pepper. Next up, I want to go ahead and prep the asparagus for the saute. And all I've done with these is I cut off about the bottom inch to inch and a half of these. They're those really fibrous wooden stalky ends, and I want those cut. Another thing is I don't need to peel these because they're pretty thin. Once you get those really big thick spears, sometimes you have to peel those skins, but these are nice and thin. And this is about half a bunch, so I think your recipe will call for one bunch, and I'm doing half the recipe. So all I'm going to do is cut these into about 1 inch pieces, and I'm going to kind of cut on a bias. Okay, next up I'm going to prep for the baby portobello mushrooms, and we don't want to wash these because they act like a sponge and they basically soak up all the water. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub them with a paper towel. And then once I have them wiped off really good, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to quarter these. Next up, I want to go ahead and thinly slice my red onion, so I'm just going to cut it right in half. And I'm going to cut it in half like that, and then all I'm going to do is just finally get some shreds. They're about 1 inch long. Helps to have a sharper knife for this one. And then last, I'm just going to go ahead and cut a little bit of parsley. We're going to use some of this as a garnish. I just want to cut a few of the leaves off. And then I'll cross chop this. Rough chop, doesn't need to be really fine. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to cook our pork chops first. So I have a large skillet. All I'm going to do is add a tablespoon of canola oil. I'm going to get it coated all on the bottom. And then I'm going to add my chops. I'm going to add it with the thyme side down, because that'll be our presentation side. And don't move them, just let them cook. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes now, and I haven't touched these. I haven't moved them. You want them to develop a crust, and by doing that, you don't want to move them around at all. And as you can see, the very tips are starting to turn white. And so we got them cooked about more than half of the way through on one side. So now we'll flip them, and that's that crust that we're looking for. And then our fresh thyme is staying on there. And we'll let them cook for an additional 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 4 minutes now on this other side, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the chops. I'm going to let them rest on this plate over here. And to the same pan, I want to add some butter that's at room temperature. Okay, add a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to add some chicken stock, low sodium, balsamic vinegar, lemon juice. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of honey. Okay. I want to reduce this, but at the same time I also want to scrape some of those bottom pieces on the bottom. You know, what we want to do is we want to reduce this to about a glaze, a sauce consistency. Okay, so it's been about 2.5 minutes, and depending on how high your heat is, it might take longer or shorter, but this is what we're looking for. It's all been reduced. It's kind of like a glaze. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and remove this to a bowl. So next up, I want to add some canola oil to the bottom of the pan. And I want to add the asparagus and the red onion. And do your best to get it all on one layer. We're going to let this cook for a few minutes. And after about 30 seconds, I want to cover with a lid to help the vegetables cook faster. Okay, it's been about 2.5 minutes now. So what I want to do is give it a nice stir. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the mushrooms and the fresh garlic right on top. Give it one more quick stir. And then cover again for about 2 minutes. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes now. So I'm just going to give it a quick stir. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I'm going to plate. Smells amazing here. So I'll remove this to the bottom. I'm going to ladle a little bit of the sauce right now on top. You just want a little bit here and there. And then we'll put the chops right on top. Some of those juices. And then we'll just drop a little bit of this glaze right on top. Like so, balsamic glaze. And then we'll top with some fresh parsley. Well, that does it for this recipe. I sure hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you learned something, and I hope you give this recipe a chance and to try at home. And again, to go over a few pointers, if you can buy in bulk, it'll save you in the long run. Try using natural flavors, less salt, and more flavors like balsamic vinegar and garlic and lemon juice, and practice that searing. It's important to know how to sear meats right. Don't mess with them. Let them cook, let them sear, and only flip them, only touch them when you're going to flip them. So happy cooking at home. Everybody stay safe out there. I look forward to doing the next video for you guys. And thank you so much for watching this video. Miigwech, have a great day and stay safe.